Alright, so it is September 23rd, 2020, and it's been approximately 2 months since we've been back here to the June plums. And as you can see here, there are only 2 of them that are still on the plant. And the other one has officially fallen off, and he's going to be ready for planting here soon. So the reason I wanted to make a video today is I wanted to show you guys exactly, well not exactly, but an average of how long it takes before these fruits actually fall off the plant. And as you can see there, like I said, it's been approximately 2 months, and these fruits can stay on the tree for that amount of time. I'm not sure if it had a whole lot more fruits than this, if they'd be on the tree as long. But the other June plum that I have is in the backyard in a larger pot. That plant has, I think, approximately 10, right around 10 fruits. So this guy here had 3 fruits on him, and he's the one who's root bound. So he's definitely rooting into the ground, and I'm gonna have to dig him up here soon. The reason I didn't dig him up is because I wanted to wait for these June plums here to eventually fall off the plant. I don't want to pick them off. I want them to reach their complete maturity before falling off the tree itself, and that way I can repropagate. So hopefully I can get 3 June plums to germinate here. But like I said, if not, there's always the mother plant that I can go and grab some more June plums from. But hopefully I wouldn't have to do that, and I'd be able to successfully propagate with just the June plums, the June plum trees that I have here. As you can see here all over the fruit, there's all this white stuff all over it, and I think those are ants. You see all kinds of stuff on this June plum here, which isn't a big problem when it comes to eating them because you can just wash the fruit off. But I always see these little white dots on them, and like I said, I'm no professional and I don't really know what these are, but I'm wondering if they're little sugar deposits or juice deposits, because ants like to crawl on these fruits, and not too many ants, but enough that you would think that they're after something that's on this fruit. And I'm wondering if those little tiny little things there are sugar deposits somehow forming outside of the fruit. Who knows? If anybody out there knows, go ahead and leave a comment and educate the rest of us. But like I said, it's been 2 months. These guys look like they're probably going to fall off within the next month or so. When I first planted them, I did have them looking sort of like that, kind of mimicking a fruit falling off a tree and eventually germinating. So we'll come back in a month or so and we'll see how this guy's doing then. Alright, so it's November 1st, 2020. So it's been about a month and a week. And we were here, I think, September 24th on the last clip. But as you can see here, the second June plum has fallen, and now the third is the only one left up here. So the second one fell down a couple days ago, so I just threw him down there, threw him back down there until he started looking like it was the right time to get him planted, and it seems like it is now the right time to get him planted. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll wait for the third one to fall off before we plant him as well. Alright, it's November 24th, 2020, and the last June plum has fallen off. So we'll go ahead and get him planted. Alright, so it's February 19th, 2021, and we're back here to the June plum. As you can see, the fruits are gone. And I'm just now catching up to it, but if you guys don't recall, it is root bound. So it's been root bound for some months now. So I know this guy's roots, as you can see there, there's a very thick root, but I pulled some of this these red cinders back, and I've definitely got to get them out and take them to the farm. Alright, so it's really easy to get him out of the ground there. He didn't go too deep, but at the same time the soil was pretty loose. As you can see, lots of it is just rock, so not too much nutrients, but definitely more than I was giving it. And that's the reason why those roots came crawling out of the pot in the first place. As you can see there, got some kind of mold or something, so I'm going to go ahead and spray that off. Hopefully this little June plum here can bounce back and provide us with lots of June plums here in the future. But I'm going to go ahead and take them out to the farm right now and get them planted. Alright, so we're out here at the farm. As you can see here, I'm right around the papaya area. It's a bit windy today, so sorry for the wind. But I'm going to put them right here on this mound, which is right up next to the road. So papayas over here on this side, this way, and he's going to be growing here where we can get some pretty good sunlight. I did shoot him off down at home before we came out here, and pretty solid root there. So I just took a knife and I cut open where that root came out of, all the way up to the top, and I'm just going to pull this pot off of it and put them into the ground right there. Alright, so here we have it. Here is the June plum, officially planted. I just put some stones around it to mark it, just so no one comes running into it or ends up chopping it down or running it over by accident. And we'll be back. He's not exactly as straight as he should be, but I'm not worried about it because he'll straighten himself out eventually. So it's March 19th, 2021, and it has hardly been a month since we've been back. But I wanted to show you guys what the June plum looks like right now. About 3 weeks ago, well, about a week after I planted him, all of the leaves fell off and the June plum looked like it was going to die. I wasn't too worried about it because, as I always say, with experience, with time comes experience. And I knew that the tree was just going to conserve all of the energy into trying to establish itself in its new home, which of course is right here in the ground. Excuse the dirty hands, I've been out here working. But if you look closely, you can see there's a bunch of new growth here on the June plum. And I knew this was going to happen because every time I transplant my plants out here, they tend to drop their leaves. Well, not all of them, but for the most part, they do drop lots of their leaves. And I know it's because down here is where all the energy is going to, and into the main stem, so that all that energy stays in there, and when the tree is ready to grow leaves and branch out, it will. And I'm really happy to see here that this is happening. The second June plum tree that I had back at home, which was the one that was growing in the pot, I gave it to my brother, and the same thing happened for him. He was a little bit worried that all his leaves had fallen off and wasn't sure, but I reassured him that the plant does that just so that it can conserve all that energy into trying to establish itself into its new home. But let's take a closer look here, and as you can see here, there is lots of new growth. So these lower branches here I'm probably going to pick off. As a matter of fact, I'll take them off right now. Don't worry about breaking these branches off, because that will give these guys up here a better chance at getting bigger. So we'll come back here in about another month to see just how the June plum is doing then. Alright, so it's April 17th, 2021, and it's been approximately a month since we've been back to the June plum. Not quite a month yet, maybe just a few more days and we'd meet a whole month. But you can see the growth here, how much growth it has had within these past couple of weeks. So you can see this little branch up here, it's coming out really good. More branches down in there, sticking out really well, and you can see still more branches at the bottom there still trying to come out. I don't need those guys down there. I want everything to focus up here at the top of the plant. As you can see, a lot has happened in this area within the past couple of weeks. I went on ahead and put this fence up. The papaya tree used to be here, but we had some super heavy rain, and I think it kind of suffocated the papaya tree, so just wound up burying him under this mulch, and he's just going to add to the nutrients that go into the soil, that when this mulch finally breaks down into compost, it will be amazing stuff to start growing in. That of course will take some time, but back to the June plum, as you can see here, it's starting to have some really good growth. And like I said, it's been raining, so it's definitely helping with the transplantation and helping the little plant here to establish itself real well in its little spot. Judging by the way it looks right now, it looks like this June plum will do perfectly fine. If we don't have any rough weather here, or unforeseen circumstances that affect this plant, I think this guy will do perfectly fine here for the rest of the time that I'll be having it. And I hope we get lots and lots of fruits this year. I'm pretty sure we will, because these June plums, these dwarf June plums, love fruiting. So I can't wait till it starts fruiting so I can restart with propagating it and sharing these plants with friends and family, but also enjoying them myself as well. So we will definitely come back in the future when this guy starts fruiting. We'll probably start that video when the plant starts flowering, and I'll go ahead and start recording from there. And then when we come back in the future for another video, it will have fruited by then, to have a complete video of the June plum and the different stages it goes through. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully those of you out there who are trying to grow dwarf June plums get a good look at how things tend to turn out throughout time with the different stages this plant goes through, and what happens when you either leave it in a pot for too long, or whatever it is that you saw in this video. Hopefully it helps you on your journey with growing either fruit trees or June plums. But like I said, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again in the future when this plant starts fruiting.